It is time to talk about the no hose rinseless wash. I woke up this morning and for like the fourth day in a row, we've had a lot of rain overnight. So I'm seeing spectacular water beading on the paint. Thank you to our ceramic coatings and our awesome products like Envy Ceramic Detail Spray. And I'm thinking to myself, I washed this Jeep last weekend. It has been less than a week since I've washed, and I've had rain to really wash a lot of the, grit and stuff off for me. A ceramic coated car does self-clean better, so I'm really dealing with very, very good paint. Let's take a look at the paint and I'll tell you why I determined this is a go for a no hose rinseless wash. We're always gonna tell you, when in doubt, use a hose. Chemical, rinse, chemical, right? So rinseless wash on the surface, then rinse it with a hose, and then go ahead and put more rinseless wash on the surface after you've removed the grit. This final rinseless wash step helps with lubrication. However, if it's just been a few days since you washed, don't mind the etching on the front bumper there. That's etched. Most of that is actually clean but etched. This is pretty clean paint, and it's kind of rare. So when in doubt, bring the hose out. But when you see paint, I see a little bit of debris on the surface there. We're gonna emulsify this. It's visible, you can see some on the surface there. We're actually gonna emulsify this with the rinseless wash and use the perfectly safe brush without rinsing, without free flowing water. Let's just kind of go through it as I clean, and I'll explain my process. We need to get something to distribute the rinseless wash on the surface, and I need to get my bucket sorted. So what we're gonna do first, let's start with the keg. Now you could use a garden sprayer, you could use a 16-ounce spray bottle of rinseless wash, just dunk it in your diluted bucket. But the keg is a true luxury. Let's take a look. So my goal here is to fill this about halfway up. So just get a couple of gallons of water in there. From my garden hose is fine. You're not gonna have to worry about water spots with rinseless wash as a diluted product. It's a fantastic way to wash outside. The amazing thing about rinseless wash, it is a super concentrate. So we just need 1 capful of rinseless wash per gallon. 2 capfuls, maybe 2.5 gallons of water in there. It's okay if you have less product, you just don't want more. Less is fine. This is a hyper concentrate, a super concentrate, right? Less is fine. If you add too much rinseless wash in there, like I did 3 capfuls instead of 2, you might risk streaking. We don't want streaking, we just want easy cleaning. So when we say less is more, it really is true. Now we're just gonna get this keg ready to distribute the rinseless wash. Okay, so that's fully inflated. Now we're gonna attach the hose. And again, this is a luxury to have. There's lots of ways to distribute your rinseless wash. Okay, now I have a pressurized keg. You can use a garden sprayer, just a 16-ounce sprayer. But this is an amazing way to do it. Let's go get rinseless wash on the Jeep. And don't forget, we need to get rinseless wash diluted in a bucket as well. Come on now. There is only one dilution for rinseless wash, 256:1. Or 1 capful per gallon, or every ounce of product, every ounce of super concentrate here, rinseless wash, 2 gallons of water. So, very easy to remember. Oh, and 4 milliliters to a liter. We know some of you are on the metric system, and with a 5-gallon bucket here, I'm just gonna do 1, 2, oh, and that's probably enough. That was a little bit of an errant pour, and there we go. That's my wash solution for rinseless wash. And don't forget the perfectly safe brush. The one thing I didn't show you all yet was the wheels. So we're gonna do the quick and easy rinseless wash wheel cleaning where we use the wash bucket, we put the perfectly safe brush away, and then we put our wheel and body brush in that wash bucket, and then we'll just do a topical treatment. We won't hit the barrels, and we'll finish that way. This is kind of a nice, quick, easy way to maintain your vehicle. Again, some light dirt, but nothing we can't handle with our amazing suite of products. So yeah, we're just set up for success here. We're gonna distribute this rinseless wash super easily, super efficiently. I gotta show you this. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Look at this water beading on well-maintained paint. Ceramic coated. And this is what the water behavior will do to help you when it rains, right? This is why I'm saying yeah, it looks kind of dirty, but the rain has mostly been moving a lot of the stuff off for me because it encapsulates the dirt and it just slides off so quickly. Those water beads showcasing why you should get a ceramic coating, folks. But in the meantime, I am dousing the paint. This is my one shot of rinseless wash. I want to make it count. Also, some awesome water beading on the wheels. Again, well maintained, putting C6 mist on there, or putting NV ceramic sealant on there, or quick beads after every wash makes them incredibly easy to clean. Okay, I'm gonna bring you in and show you one thing I am doing that kind of mimics a hose with this sprayer. So if you're ever in a position where like a small piece of a stick or a tree or a leaf or whatever falls on the paint, you can just take your sprayer, and it's really wide now, but I can make it really narrow and almost use this like a pressure washer. So if you want to do this and you want to be a little OCD with it, but you just don't want to get the hose out, you're like, okay, I know it's emulsifying the dirt, but I want to see anything that I can see cascading off the paint. This is exactly what we'll do it. So this is kind of cool water beading here on the vertical panels. And then obviously this goes a lot wider too, so it's kind of fun. But yeah, just give you an idea of what you can do with whatever sprayer you have. Even a 16-ounce trigger sprayer, you can narrow the spray and kind of treat it like a pressure washer. So use that strategically if you need to on a no-hose wash. You might have noticed the decontamination towel. You could actually use that with what we call the wash clay seal process, where you could do this without a hose. You could obviously decontaminate with our decontamination towel and then use NV ceramic sealant as a lubrication and protection spray. You can do that at once and then dry with your towel. That's an even bigger step up, and we might even do that today. But I do have the decon towel there for another reason. I always have it in my wash bucket so that after I wash, any stray bug guts on glass, I can use that decontamination towel and they will just shave through them like a knife through butter on a warm summer day. Decon towel is great to have in your wash bucket at all times. Otherwise, I just kind of hang it on the side. Do what you want. We can also roll it back up, and once it's dry, roll it back up and put it back in the original box with your decon towel. So do that if you want. I just like the hanging off the side of the bucket method, especially if you're working with a lot of cars. You can almost just leave it in your wash bucket if you're doing it consistently and changing out the buckets about every day. So, rinseless wash. In my wash bucket. A perfectly safe brush is doing the rest. I want my brush nice and sopping with the perfectly safe brush. What I love about rinseless wash, you can absolutely tell where you've washed and where you haven't. Beads are telling me I haven't washed here. Lines are telling me I absolutely have. It's just so easy, a visual cue for you once you're in the flow with whatever wash medium you're using. You might be using the Legacy sponge. It's funny, I just did half of the hood because I'm so used to Ivan being here and him doing the other half. So forgive me, I usually do the whole hood at once. After a quick redunk of my perfectly safe brush, this is the joy of the perfectly safe brush, folks. I don't have to go to that side. Ivan's not here. How many of you want Ivan like chiming in the comments for this Wednesday series? We're still trying to figure out what we should call it. Maybe the rabbit hole, something like that, where we just, I just get to be me and have fun and overuse products and, focus on education, have a good time. But as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, should we make this series all about Ivan critiquing my detail? Like just put him in the corner? If so, let me know and we can make that happen for the next one. I'm sure Ivan's told me I've missed a spot a few times. Maybe I should have redunked my perfectly safe brush one more time there for a fresh panel. There we go. It's good to put this wiper blade down when you're done. The beauty of rinseless wash is it actually encapsulates the dirt on your surface, because you're like, don't you need to free rinse that? Don't you need to rinse that with free flowing water? And the answer is no, in this case, because again, we've emulsified what's on the surface. This perfectly safe brush is the softest wash media we have. This is an incredibly safe wash method. Again though, if you ever get into a situation where you're like, should I use a hose with rinseless and do the chemical rinse chemical method and then do my contact wash? The answer is yes. If you have to ask yourself that, and I'm repeating myself, I know, but if you have to ask yourself that, just go with the hose. Don't forget, this brush will get you into these little handles here. Under there like that. You can do this. You can just work the bristles to your favor, hit them at different angles, right? with no pressure on the brush whatsoever, but that way you're gonna make sure you get into every nook and cranny. And once again, I probably did 8 too many passes, but this is what I do. I enjoy myself. One panel at a time, working top to bottom, no pressure on the perfectly safe brush here. Being extra safe because we don't have a hose, I'm gonna consider that a panel. I'm gonna consider this a panel. Very grateful for the rain in between washes. I usually, if it's more than a couple days, you know, things get pretty gnarly around here, especially if you're driving a lot. So I'm usually gonna reach for the hose, have fun with foam, incredible suds. You all know the drill. So yeah, just going no hose feels very liberating, very fast, very efficient. So now with the lights on, we're just seeing how this just rips through that dark stuff on the surface. So let's just show you that now, right? And it's going through and it goes away. What the rule of thumb is like if it's still dark in the rinseless wash, give it another pass. I don't think we even got up there yet. But you wanna work the rinseless wash until whatever on the surface is clear. That's still dark. I'm gonna redunk in my bucket. I'm gonna come over to this section with no pressure whatsoever. And you see now how that runs clear? Adjusted the camera slightly to show you the dark line here and then how clear it is here. So the line's right about here. So if we just work this over the panel, I'm seeing it's still a little dark. I'll hit it again. No pressure whatsoever on the brush. It's looking pretty clear there. And I believe we're ready to move on. If that doesn't look clear, you just do one more pass until it all just goes crystal clear on the surface. And then you're ready to dry. Okay, now we save the front bumper until last. Why do we do that? Because if there are bug guts, we want to give this the longest time to work. We want to have that emulsification effect compounded with the dwell time for as long as we can do that. And it's okay if rinseless wash dries on the surface. Not a big deal. Again, you're leaving more of what you'd think of as polymer spots than water spots. So if you just reliquify it with a little rinseless wash or your drying aid, they wipe right off. Okay, so it's kind of handy to see this. I've got my quad fold decontamination towel. There was a bug gut that the Perfectly Safe brush basically got, but because I have the lubrication of rinseless wash on there, with no pressure whatsoever, I can just test that, and that was already good, that was clean. But if I'm ever wondering, did that totally dislodge it? Try the decon towel. Once you've washed, you've got the lubrication from rinseless wash here. That's a green light. You can use the decon towel. That's the lubricant. That's your clay lube. This is your clay towel. And it's actually a perforated synthetic decontamination towel, quad fold. So it just so easily folds into itself. Very easy for the hand to understand. We don't put a lot of pressure on it. And if we do, we've at least got these folds as our redundant insurance policy. And if you press too hard, look what happens. More rinseless wash comes out. So it's built in that this is supposed to have lubrication. So if you mess up, you're actually going to get more lubrication on the surface as a buffer. Just a great item to have in your wash bucket all the time. So let's say the sun dried everything for you. Or let's say you just took a break, went to the bathroom, got a snack, got a phone call. All I'm doing now is I'm just re-lubricating the surface with a fresh layer of rinseless wash. Is this adding a little bit for me in the drying stage? Potentially, a little bit more moisture than needed to be on the surface, potentially yes. But I just wanna have that rinseless wash still on the surface. It's not drying super fast on me, so it's gonna give me a lot of working time. And now, Envy ceramic sealant and our drying towels. Okay, I've got Envy ceramic detail spray, 3 twist loop towels, and a dream. Can this entire vehicle be dried with such little microfiber? So when we say 1 spray per panel, we really mean it. And then sometimes I do 2 anyway. 1 is all you need, folks. But this is a big panel. I'm gonna do half the hood. To me, I'm priming the towel. No need probably to do that. I'm sure Ivan has some thoughts. But I'm just working the towel over the surface, working the Envy ceramic detail spray in, and then I can use a secondary towel if I want, or I can just flip that towel. I can just buff that to a clean and protected shine. It's that easy. Now this Jeep's gonna probably drip for a while, but because we didn't use a hose, it might not be that bad. So that's sort of the step-by-step process here. 1 spray of this on the panel, then where you spray, is where you apply your twist loop. You've got the rinseless wash as your bed of lubrication. You have a great subtle smell. You're adding protection to the paint, but what you're really gonna love is the shining gloss. And the next time it rains or next time you wash it, you'll love the water beads. So there's a lot of rewards here for very little effort. It's so interesting, I'm using my towel without Envy ceramic detail spray because I want to do Envy glass sealant here. So I did no lubricant besides rinseless wash, and it was more difficult to dry. Like Envy ceramic detail spray actually makes the drying easier. So I'll do Envy ceramic detail spray on this glass. That was a kind of half spray, still plenty. And where I apply the spray, I put it on the glass. Then I go to my dry towel. And yeah, it's drying a lot easier. So just having a drying aid, who knew? There we go. Clean, dry glass. Since I have so much time here, one spray per panel. I've got my wet towel first in one hand, my dry towel in the other. And let's go to town. And if it's taken a long time to dry, I'm in no rush. I'll let Mother Nature do a little of the drying for me. Not all of it. We still want the lubrication of the rinseless wash, but we don't need to deal with excessive moisture if we don't have to. It's interesting, my strategy here is almost kind of like when we apply our ceramic coatings. I'm just using this first kind of wetter towel as like my secondary applicator. So I sprayed on Envy ceramic detail spray. And now all I'm trying to do is just like get this to keep spreading the product because it's taken a long time to dry. So I'm just sort of improvising on the fly here. If I were in direct sunlight, I wouldn't have the luxury of all this time before it dries. Just very humid in the garage, obviously no direct sunlight. Very ideal for the most part here in terms of washing. But for how long it's still on the paint, I can get a little creative. So yeah, that's my first towel. And the second towel is just knocking down whatever's left because most of it went in here. So this is just our sacrificial towel, this first one. And if you get it mostly in this towel, you're not gonna get a whole lot on your second twist loop. I'm just literally going back over where I already, quote unquote, respread the Envy ceramic detail spray. And now I'm gonna hit the windows because they just seem like they were taking a while to dry. Maybe not soaking up everything as much as the paint, so a lot is still on the surface here. So now that the entire vehicle has been done outside of the wheels, I'm just gonna use Envy ceramic detail spray as my lubricant. Sometimes there can be a lot of standing water on the tops of a Jeep or a tonneau cover on a truck, and that can really take a toll on your towel's ability to soak up moisture, whatever's on the paint. So again, I save this till last. It's like the kamikaze mission of the towel is to like die up here in terms of absorbency, and that's fine. That's where I'm willing to sacrifice that. But ideally, you know, this combo should do the entire vehicle. And of course, there will be links in the description on where to get Envy ceramic detail spray. But quick little hint, DIYdetail.com, along with these towels and rinseless wash. So I've sprayed my sprays. I don't need that bottle anymore. Taking the wet towel, and it's getting everything. This is awesome. Now doing the dry towel. It's also nice for both hands to just have something to do. As odd as that sounds, it seems to work in detailing. We're almost done here, right? Yeah, but not quite. We need to do the old swapperoo here. So we take our perfectly safe brush, give it a good shake, and I like to hang it up on the wall, just like this, and I have a bucket underneath it. I'll show you. Nothing special whatsoever. Just like that, and that'll drip for a while. But when that drips, it's got a bucket to drip into. I know it looks grimy, guys. We need Ivan to come rescue the garage. That's a weed whacker from Ego. It works pretty well, usually behind the scenes on this wall. But that's where I put the perfectly safe brush. Okay, so this is my wash bucket. This is my old wheel bucket. I'm gonna take my wheel and body brush from DIY Detail. I'm putting it in my wash bucket. Fresh rinseless is all I need for a wheel that's regularly maintained. Check out how awesome our wheel system is. Wheel and body brush from DIY Detail in my rinseless wash bucket. I like to start wherever the valve stem is. That is my North Star. That's where I start, that's where I finish. You can start at midnight and work your way around the clock. Whatever works for you. Just be meticulous so that when you go by the first time, you're agitating the fibers of this brush, safe on the paint, safe on this wheel face. You're agitating those bristles into the face of the wheel. Now, a couple sprays of Envy Ceramic Detail Spray. And whatever feels meticulous for you, again, for me it's the valve stem, but that's gonna be a lubricant and a protectant, which will make wheel cleaning easier next time. Love that for us. I'll get the barrels on a more detailed detail, right? The barrels don't have to be on every wash. This is a quick and easy hose-free demo. And we're almost done. The only thing left is tire dressing, tire lotion. I like a lot. Ivan prefers a little. What do you like? And then, even on a wet tire, folks, I know you're used to only applying it to a dry tire. I didn't like that angle very much. This feels much more natural. Just working the fibers of the brush in there. What I might recommend is having kind of toward the end of its life towel to then come knock this down and see what it looks like. Otherwise, air drying will take a while. So let's just knock down this tire to see what it actually looks like. Because you know, everything looks different when it's wet, richer, wetter, all that. And we can let it dry. And if we missed a couple spots when it dries, we can touch them up. But that's just the quick way to do it and a satisfactory result. Look at that, it looks great. So as I finish up the wheels here, kind of the final part of any detail is your tire shine, your tire lotion. Do you have any ideas for this Wednesday segment, what we could do with it? I think the Nick and Ivan combo of him critiquing me is kind of fun. We've done that once before. People seem to like it and maybe want more of it. So let me know on that, or what ideas you have for videos I could do here to just showcase what it's like to detail from home. I've had a mobile detailing business. I've had a couple of shops. I've lived in an apartment for a long time, and now finally in a home where I can actually detail in a garage, and it is amazing. It is amazing. You don't need all the tools and toys. They can make your life more fun. They can also be a rabbit hole. So what I love about our system on exterior detailing, just look at what we've done here. The paint, the wheels are gonna look fabulous. Already do look fabulous. As I knock down this wheel here, maybe you could do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. It's free. And you know, maybe hype this video if you're on mobile right now. If you like rinseless washing, but you want to see us foam the car, Incredible Suds truly is incredible. Check out this video right here.